welcome back to the craft room. I am so glad that you could join me. Today I'm going to show you my finished Tunisian Crochet cross-stitch fish coaster project. Whew, that's a lot to say. But anyway, I have been working on this diligently since the last video. Okay, so maybe not diligently, but I was able to finish it up in an entire day. The second part anyway. So this is part 2 of this series. And I did a little bit of research. I weighed the last panel that I finished, and I'm going to say you need about 2 ounces of yarn. Now that is stretching it. I used this Just yarn, and if you can see right there, it is a 1.76 ounce. I didn't quite use all of it, but I used this for making both panels and crocheting them together, and this is what I have left. This is just a little ball. Let me get my scale here, and I will weigh it. So there is 3/8 of an ounce left. So I'm going to say 2 ounces of yarn total will be plenty, at least with my tension and using a size I, which you can use just a regular crochet hook. You don't need a fancy one. A size I hook is what I used. However, I did use my big long one only because I wanted to. It's not necessary. Like I said, you can use just a standard crochet hook for this. And also for the scraps that I used, which was, I ended up using just the orange, the black, and the red, and I used yellow instead of the green. So these are the colors that I used for my fish, and it is finished. So before I show it to you, I'm going to insert a picture of the back of my cross-stitch square, because if you're like me, you're always curious what the back side of a project looks like. Okay, not too bad, right? So as you can see from looking at the back, it's obvious that I did some outlining again, which yes, I did. But we will start from the back of my project. This is my back square. And once again, on this one as well, my first row, which I think is this one right here, I did the extended simple Tunisian, which gave it a lot less curl on that bottom row, which was perfect. So, are you guys ready? You sure? You sure? Okay. Here is my finished square. And yes, I did outline my fish, and instead of doing the cross stitch for the bubbles, I was going to use this blue. I don't know where it's at. It's already in my bucket. It's missing. Anyway, that blue that I showed you last night, I was going to use that, but I didn't like, you couldn't even see them on, or see it on my square here. So I just went ahead and outlined where the bubbles would have been. And then, like I said, I outlined the fish. So there is my finished square. Total weight on this is 1 3/8 ounce. So yeah, not very much there. So I would count this as a 2 ounce project. Now please don't ask me to convert ounces into yards, because that is way out of my math category. But if you want to have just a little sneak peek, this 1.76 ounces is 87 yards, or 50 grams for this Premier Just Cotton. And this is the turquoise marl, and this was purchased from the Dollar Tree. So you can do your math and see just how much extra I used yard-wise for this. There you have it, and I will put part 1 link in the description box, and I will also put the information from part 1 in the description box below if you would like to make one of these yourself. These are super simple. If you know how to do the simple Tunisian stitch, and you know how to do a single crochet stitch, which I just crocheted around the edge of both pieces together, 2 single crochets in the corners, and if you have a basic knowledge of doing counted cross stitch, then something like this should be a piece of cake. So I thank you guys for joining me here in the craft room, and I will see you right back here in my next video.